Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Friday, September 1st, 2023. We are now officially two-thirds of the way through the calendar year and two-thirds of the way through this birthdays and events project that we started way back on January 1st. So anyway, we've got some birthdays to celebrate. Got some NASCAR events to talk about. Looked at some other races, some other series, but the NASCAR ones pretty much trumped everything. So we'll start way back in 1980 at Darlington. So for the next few days, it's going to be pretty much Darlington, Darlington, Darlington. So 1980 on this date, Terry Labonte wins his first Cup Series race, the Southern 500. Of course, we talked about yesterday, Terry bookended his careers at Darlington with his first and last wins coming there. 1985 on this date, big day in NASCAR history, of course. Bill Elliott wins the Winston Million yesterday. Jeff Gordon won the final Winston Million today. Bill Elliott wins the first. Again, another bookend story. R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company came up in 1985 with 4 Crown Jewel races. If a driver won 2 of the 4, they'd win a $100,000 bonus. If they won 3 of the 4, they'd win a $1 million bonus. I don't know what would have happened if they would have won all 4, but the odds were so far against a driver even winning 3 of them, and guess what? Bill did it the first year they had it. Fast forward 6 years later, 1991, Harry Gant wins at Darlington. No big surprise there. This would be his 4th and final career win at the famed track. But this one would also start off a string of 4 consecutive Cup Series wins. He'd also win some Busch Series races during this time and was basically undefeated in the month of September in both series, giving him the nickname Mr. September. And also at Dover, a couple races later, they started handing out these buttons that said life begins at 51, because at the time Harry was 51 years old. So the race really wasn't that dramatic. There wasn't a lot that I can remember from that race. I do remember that Gant did get a $100,000 bonus from Winston because he won at Talladega earlier in the year. So he did get 2 of the 4 wins to get that $100,000 Winston Million bonus. Our final event on this day in 1996, Jeff Gordon wins at Darlington. Not really any big surprise there. This was the middle of his 4 straight Southern 500 wins. But this would be the last Southern 500 on the old configuration. Now, Darlington wasn't changed in terms of, oh, they knocked down the walls and made the banking steeper or put in a quad oval or whatever. They took the front stretch and made it the back stretch. So they flipped the track the following summer, as the 97 spring race would be the last one run on the old configuration. But this was the last Southern 500 run on this configuration. So we've got a few birthdays to go through here. Let's start in 1987. Famous last name, maybe a not-so-famous first name, but Bobby Dale Earnhardt, the son of Kerry, brother of Jeffrey, born on this date in 1987. He's made a few National Series starts. Not sure what he's up to right now, but be nice to see him back in a car soon. Born on this date in 1988. Former IndyCar driver. She may pop up here and there. Simona de Silvestro. And then now we get to birthdays that we actually have cards for. Born on this day in 2001. He's ran some Xfinity Series races this year and has done really well with them. But he spent a lot of time in the trucks with Bill McAnally, but is no longer with that team. Mr. Derek Kraus. Born on this date in 1994. Don't have much to say about him because I don't know much about him, but I do have a couple cards of him. Mr. Carlos Sainz with the Ferrari, Scuderia Ferrari there in F1. So let's look at some career stats there. No wins, at least to this point. And talks about the 2021 Turkish Grand Prix. So Carlos Sainz. And our final birthday, of course, this whole birthday today is a lot of international flair. Born on this day in 1976 from down under. He's got 2 Cup wins at Watkins Glen. Mr. Marcus Ambrose. So I did these as best as I could chronologically. Of course, when he came over, he was running in the trucks for JTG and then kind of had an affiliation with the Wood brothers a little bit. So he did run a few Cup races for the Woods, but this is mostly JTG truck Xfinity stuff. There's the you know, if you're with JTG, you're going to have 25 uniforms for all their sponsors. There's the Bushes. And a look at that car. There's the Kroger car. And then there's the Bushes car. Bushes Baked Beans. And we got Clorox. So almost every one of those associate sponsors at one time would be a primary. There's the Little Debbie. So we're covering all of our bases here. I like this set. Press Pass Premium 2010. Really like that set. I like how it's done. It's very nice. Eventually he'd move over to, Richard Petty Motorsports. Got a few different DeWalt and Stanley. Another Stanley outfit there. So you can see yellow letters, and then you have the black letters with the yellow branding. There's a Prelude to the Dream car at Eldora. We have one of the many different sponsorships with the JTG Doherty team. So you got Kingsford, got Little Debbie, a little bit of everybody. There's Clorox. See Denny Hamlin popping up in the back there. And then we have the number 9 Stanley Tools Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. So anyway, that's going to be our birthdays and events for today on this Friday. Hope you enjoy the video. Of course, we will be back tomorrow. We won't be doing Fast Packs over the weekend. We like to take weekends off for that. But we will have something to rip tomorrow morning. Not sure what it's going to be just yet. Sometimes I plan it, sometimes I don't. It just depends how I'm feeling. Right now, I have no idea what we're going to rip in the morning, but we'll have something for you. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we will see you tomorrow.